Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Lacquer Lover and today I'm going to be swatching this 8-piece collection from Glaze for spring 2022. It is their Mystic Bloom collection and the description that they have online is blossom into your best self with your enchanting new spring color collection. Misty pinks, violets, blues, and greens cast a dewy, mystical glow. Get ready for something magical. So yes, we have a variety of colors and variety of finishes, so I'm really excited to get into them. They definitely do give me some floral or gardeny vibes and we're going to explore those together. So without further ado, let's get into the swatches. Underneath all swatches, I'm applying base coat to protect my natural nails and to prevent staining. I'm swatching these polishes in the order of the catalogical numbers at the bottom of the bottle so you can follow along if you want. The first polish is called Mystic Dawn, which is a sheer nude polish with an iridescent glitter mixed in, and that glitter kind of has a blue-purple flash or shift, and that kind of gives the color a lit within kind of feeling or look, and it's pretty interesting, that contrast between the shimmer and the base. Honestly, I wasn't really looking forward to swatching this polish because I'm not a big fan of those big contrasts with the base and the shimmer, but I think this one worked out really well, and I think it's because when you look at the nail straight on, you kind of just get the nude base, but once you have the light hitting it at the right angle, you can see that blue flash. So you're kind of getting these two distinct experiences with the polish, and it doesn't mix in any weird way at all, and I think it has a really good balance. So this one actually was one of my favorites, if not my favorite, and yeah, this one is really pretty. It kind of just gives you something interesting to look at if you're having nude nails for work or for school. And it also looks really interesting with matte top coat as well. I think both finishes bring out something different in the polish, so you can definitely try both and you'll be able to have different experiences with the polish. And another nude is this Instant Sparks, and this one is a light brownish champagne pearl base with gold metallic glitters and a light holographic sparkle or shimmer. Here's the first coat of Instant Sparks. At first I wasn't a big fan of the pearly base, but I think as I applied it, I kind of saw how the glitters break up that base, and you don't have to be too careful with the brush strokes. It does make for a pretty interesting combination, and I like that everything is really warm. It just goes together so well, so this one is definitely kind of one that took me by surprise and that I enjoyed more than I expected. But with that being said, I did need 3 coats for this polish because I found that it was a bit sheer, and just having 3 coats just made me feel like the polish was completely opaque. This is 3 coats of Instant Sparks, and you can really see that holographic shimmer as I move my nails back and forth. I think it's so pretty, and I like that there are the basic metallic glitters in there that do break it up, and it's not just a bunch of rainbows. You do get kind of a more elegant or classy feel there. And the next polish is called Pretty as a Petal, which is a kind of peachy, pinkish, almost nude shimmery pearl polish. It has a lot going on in there. It's not really a 2022 trendy polish. It reminds me more of like the 70s or even like cottagecore, just kind of like something older. It's an interesting one, and as I applied it, I noticed that it was drying really quickly, and then I was like, oh, it is matte, and you kind of saw that in the first coat. I was definitely more aware as I was spreading the polish around in the second coat. I wanted to be really careful, but I still had a few streaks and whatnot, so I did go in with a 3rd coat. So if you're really careful, you should be able to get away with 2 coats. So this is 3 coats of Pretty as a Petal, and because its natural finish is matte, it didn't immediately occur to me, but this one kind of reminds me of like lip gloss. With top coat, you can kind of see that multi-dimensionality of this polish. It actually is pretty interesting looking, and I would probably reach for this pretty often in the springtime. I'm really excited about this polish actually. And the next polish is called Fairytale Bliss. This one is kind of a reddish pink, and it has a yellow orange to pink shift in the shimmer, so it has a really nice kind of warm tone to it. And in the first coat it looks more cool tone, but as you build up the polish and you get greater concentration of the warm glitters, the polish does look more warm, and it's just a really pretty one. It's really fun and girly in my opinion. This is 2 coats of Fairytale Bliss. I think it had pretty good coverage at 2 coats considering it had a pretty clear or sheer base. And it looks fine, glossy, but you can also apply matte top coat and it'll look even more like pretty as a petal. It has that kind of multi-dimensionality coming from the shimmers. So that's really cool and fun to look at. And the next polish is another pearly polish. This one is called Bloomphoria. So it combines 2 things that I normally really hate in polish, which is the pearl finish and the purple green shift. I'm just not a big fan of that purple green contrast, but this one worked really well, and I think it's because of the pinky undertones of that base, and that pinky undertone just went really well with that green, and the green part was like more yellowy too, so like it just had more colors going on in there, I guess you could say, that just went well together. So I overall really enjoyed this polish and I could see myself using this during the springtime. This is Bloomphoria with matte top coat. I apologize for not having a flash clip of it glossy, but I just forgot. I do think that the matte version really shows the color shift, and it also exemplifies the streakiness of the polish, so you definitely want to be extra careful if you're looking to mattify it. And the next polish is called Bloominescence, which is basically the purple version of Fairytale Bliss. Here's the first coat of Bloominescence. So it does have a slight warm undertone, but the glitter is pretty cool tone, so I would say that in the end you do kind of get an indigo-y violet finish here. And it is also a matte polish, so it does remind me of Pretty as a Petal in that aspect, but the way that it's chock full of glitter reminds me of Fairytale Bliss, so it's a nice mix of the two. And here it is in its natural matte finish. You can definitely see those pinkish bluish glitters in there, but with it glossy you're getting more of that shimmer from the base itself, and overall it's just really pretty, very distractive, and just a party on the nails. And the next polish is called Secret Rendez-Blue, which is the tealish blue version of Fairytale Bliss. This one is kind of a sheerish clear blue base with a lot of pink blue glitters in there. Here is the first coat of Secret Rendez-Blue. This kind of reminds me of like mermaid or ocean polishes. It's really pretty and it sparkles really nicely under the light, and I was able to get pretty good coverage in 3 coats, so you can see it is building up in 2 coats, but it's still quite sheer, and I have a lot of patchiness near the cuticle, and you can see that visible nail line. This one dries glossy, and I wouldn't say that it changes drastically between its wet stage and its dry stage, but it was a little finicky overall and would not be the quickest manicure, so you know, you definitely need to put a little bit more care into this one, but I would say that the final product is really beautiful. And the next polish is called Planted and Enchanted. It seems to be a green pearl polish with a slight tealy blue duochrome shift. This is a perfect example of that garden theme, and you can see in the first stroke down the nail that it has beautiful coverage, and I am covering up that nail line pretty well. I do have a bit of a streak on the right side of the nail, so I am going in with a second coat. And I wish I was a little bit more careful with the second coat because I feel like I just created more streaks in the pearl finish, but it's totally fine because it's at least completely opaque and I don't see any nail line or anything like that. But here is Planted and Enchanted. This one is probably the most perfect polish for this collection, and even though it's a pearl finish, I don't hate it that much just because I think the color is really nice and unique for this type of finish. So that was my swatch and review of China Glaze's Mystic Bloom collection for spring 2022. As usual, I have these placed left to right in my order of most least favorite, with most of my favorites being the ones that surprised me the most. And the one that surprised me the most was Bloomphoria, because I'm not usually a big fan of the purple to green duochrome finish, but this one worked so well, and I think it looks even more amazing with matte top coat. And then I also really loved Mystic Dawn. It was another combination that I didn't think would work really well, or that wouldn't really look nice on my nails, but it is so beautiful, and the blue flash in there is so strong but subtle at the same time. It is just really cool. All the colors are great in this collection. Again, I purchased these from Polish Pick, which is an amazing website to get your polishes for a discounted price, and they have amazing customer service as well. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and found it helpful, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye everyone!